Hi, and welcome to week 2 in Math and Society. Just to give you a little overview of what we're doing this week, voting theory is the topic that we'll complete this week, and then we'll start on finance at the end of the week, and then next week those assignments will be due. So, a couple things. First, voting theory exercises. Many of you have started that. If you hadn't, that's okay. There's videos for all the first questions. Just want to remind you real quickly that when you do those assignments, that you know that once you do a problem, you get started, you can, if you miss it, you can try again, or you can get a similar question. If you don't get 2 out of 2 points, you can try a similar question until you get 100%. So just to remind you on your assignments, on those homework assignments, that they're really, if you take the time, you should be able to get 100%. And you can get help on those. Go into the Math Center and we'll help you on those if you need it. Okay. Also, Monday and Tuesday, that's tomorrow morning at 10:30 and Tuesday at 10:30, I'll be meeting. We'll have a class meeting. These are not required meetings. They're not mandatory. There's no points involved. I will answer questions, and I will do some examples of problems that you'll be working on in the exercises. Okay, on Wednesday, there's a voting theory written assignment, and that is on ranked choice voting. There's a good bit of reading to do in that problem to do that assignment. So, there's reading and there's videos. So there'll be look at the video, and then you'll have to write that up. You can use Word or any word processing program, and then upload that. You'll have to there's an add work button, so you can cut and paste, or just upload it onto the assignment. And remember, there's 2 parts to that problem. They're each worth 10 points. One will be what you think of RCV in general, and one is how you think Yakima would respond to that. So don't forget, there's 2 parts to that problem, two questions. Now, next is the voting theory unit summary. Now, we're going to have a unit summary for every single unit where there's a quiz. And there's 2 reasons for that. One is on that unit summary, I want you to go through. Now, this is a 10-point assignment, a written assignment. You'll do this by hand. I want you to write out the main topics and the vocabulary that's new in that subject, which there's quite a bit in the voting theory, I'm sure. Then any formulas you think that are important, and then write at least 3 examples of the harder problems in the unit. And you can write more examples, and I encourage you to write as many as you think you need in order to do well on the quiz, because this is for you. Really, it's just for you to write a summary of what's going on in the chapter, and then examples of what you might see. This is pretty easy 10-point assignment, which is an important part of your grade. The written assignments are 25% of your grade, and so these are pretty routine, and you get to use them on the quiz. And now that brings us to the quiz. And by the way, quizzes are closed book, except for those unit summaries, your own unit summaries. The voting theory skills quiz. Now, typically the skills quiz are not accessible unless you have worked on the assignment. So you have to have worked and completed that voting theory assignment before you take the skills quiz. And you should also finish the summary before you take the skills quiz. This should be the last thing you do in a unit. So when you take that voting theory skills quiz, I'll just remind you, I'll do the student preview here. When you ignore that, I guess I have to reset it. So when you take that quiz, here's the questions. You'll have one. Notice it has an add work button. So problem number 1, problem number 2. I'm just going to put in wrong. Some of these, by the way, ask for numbers. Let's say 22. Some of these ask for letters. Let's say D. It's not even one of the options, so I know I'm going to miss that. But you go through and you answer all the questions. Now, when you do your work, put the number for each problem and show all the work for that problem. Anything that you needed to do to get that answer. And make sure your answers that you enter here are the same as the answers in the work that agree with the work that you've done. So when you're all done, you go down here at the bottom, you hit submit, hit OK. When you're all done, we'll save, work, and continue. And now that will put you out of that. And so if you come back, now what you need to do, you can either do this during the quiz or after the quiz, but you can then go back. Oh, I'm not doing this as a student, but when you do this, when you're all done with the quiz, you can come back and add work. So you can take a picture of each problem, each one of your the work for each problem, and then you click the add work button, and you can either take a picture and insert the image, or just insert a attach it as a file. So you can attach it if you have a or whatever way you want to do it. Now some problems you might want to just show the work. When you're taking the quiz, there's a place to show the work too. You'll get a box like this to show work as well. You can type it in there if you'd like. But for each problem, now if you run out of time, now the quizzes are 90 minutes, so you get a lot of time for the quiz. Usually it takes 25-30 minutes for a quiz typically. So you should have time at the end of the quiz to add work. But if you don't, if you run out of time, that's not a big deal. You still submit your work. When you're all done, then you can go back and reopen the assignment, and the add work buttons will still be there. So you can add work after you're done. So if you run into a problem, with uploading a picture or something like that, then you can take the time afterwards and you at your leisure. So there's no time pressure on uploading your work. You can do it an hour, even an hour after. I encourage you not to do that. I would do it right away, but sometimes something may come up and you have to go before you're finished uploading your work. So upload those one question at a time. So in that quiz, you may not have noticed, but I think there's only 8 questions on the quiz. So it won't take that long to do that. And it's a lot faster than going down and taking the quiz at a testing center. Okay, so that's, remember, I'm available. You can call me. You can text me if you need to meet. Oh, lastly, contact your instructor by phone or in the MC4A. So I need to have just a check with each person in the class, and I've got a lot of people who have signed up. Remember that you can go and sign up. If you look at that, you can sign up for to schedule the meeting in Calendly. So you just pick a date and a time, and you have to do that. You got to give me a few hours notice, because if you try and sign up at the last minute for something very soon, then it's unlikely that I'll make it, because I won't see it on my calendar. I don't check my calendar every hour, so you need to give me a little time so I know it's coming. Okay, look forward to chatting with more of you. I've had good conversations with students already. I hope you find this next week enjoyable. It's an interesting topic. It's pertinent. Your voting is important, and I hope that you enjoy it. Okay, have a good week. Bye-bye.